Mandy is a Nicolas Cage horror movie. The movie is about Nicolas Cage and his lover. They're living it up, everything's peaceful and amazing. And one day, when his lover is walking on the road, this van drives by him, and this guy sees her. Well, this guy, being our main bad guy, believes he is sent from heaven or hell. It was very confusing. Basically, he feels otherworldly and that everything on earth is his, and since he's seen her, she's his. Well, he has this cult that rides around in this van with him, and he uses them to kidnap her, and they use this magical flute to summon up these demon biker dudes to help, and they kidnap her. And after they kidnap the lover, they tell her, hey, look, if you just obey and do what we say, Nicolas Cage will be A-OK. Just do what our king wants, basically. And they get her high off LSD right away, introduce her to him. He's this big, arrogant dude who thinks that he's basically above everybody else, and that's where you kind of get his backstory. And she's tripping off this LSD, and she is just laughing at him. He plays some music for her that he made, and she's just rolling, and he's pissed. He starts jacking off and shit. Weird. But he's not happy. So, realizing that there's no way to basically get her on his team, he puts her in a bag, goes back, ties up Nicolas Cage with some barbed wire, and burns her in front of him. Well, turns out that her name was Mandy, hence the name of the movie of Mandy. And now Nicolas Cage is pissed because they didn't kill Nicolas Cage for some odd reason. They just kind of stab him, and I think they were hoping he would bleed out, but nonetheless, now he's pissed off, chugs a whole bunch of alcohol, and he leaves to go get, I guess, his hunting bow, because back in the day he was a hunter, I suppose. Just undisclosed backstory on Nicolas Cage. And when he finally gets his bow, you realize that this isn't some actual people with real spiritual powers or anything. It's just a bunch of people high out of their mind on LSD. So those demon bikers are just junkies, and so they're just normal people, and he basically goes on an onslaught, killing everybody who had something to do with Mandy's death, and is beautifully lit. It's a really good movie, and there's some good parts in it. So, my review of Mandy. And before we even get into the review, I have to inform everybody, for the sake of just this movie, to never watch it on DVD, as this is easily some of the worst quality I've seen on a DVD ever. Very disappointed. It was absolutely horrible. When I switched to Tubi, it was so much better. And I've watched DVDs that are close to Blu-ray level, and this was easily the worst out of all 145 reviews I've done on my physical media. Easily the worst quality of a DVD I've seen, especially with it being a newer movie. It was incredibly bad. So just don't even ever watch it on DVD. Trust me, you're not experiencing the movie at all. Now, with that being said, this movie is so beautifully lit. It is on levels of Superior and things like that. That is literally the main thing they were going for in this movie, was the lighting. There's so many crazy lit scenes in this movie, and it is absolutely beautiful. That's also why the DVD took from it a little bit. I mean, it took from it a lot, not a little bit. But yeah, just the beauty of this movie, very, 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 very well done. And just in general, anything from like the production and like directing standpoint was just really well done. Nicolas Cage's acting was extremely good. I mean, all the acting was really good, to be honest. There were some really good scenes in this movie, like the chainsaw fight. There was a lot of really good things going for this movie. Also, there was a couple funny parts in this movie, but like one of the funniest was like in the very end when he's about to like kill the final dude, and the final dude doesn't want to die, so he offers to suck Nicolas Cage's dick. Off the wall, was not expecting that, pretty funny. Also back to scenes that were like really, really well done. At the very end, when Nicolas Cage thinks he's seen Mandy, just that scene with him driving and just the smile was like, whoo, that was so good, dude. So good. And honestly, this movie really only suffers from kind of a slow start, which honestly isn't even that bad because of all the beautiful lighting. So, my recommendation to Mandy, and honestly, this is probably a highly recommended movie, but as of now, I'm just going to say it's recommended because I have to easily rewatch this movie, as I watched it on DVD because that's what I own it on, even though it's free on Tubi. But it was literally dog shit quality, and when I switched to Tubi, it was just so much better. And I mean, just there was scenes that were lit and that you just couldn't really even tell what was happening because the quality was so bad, and I knew the quality was going to be so bad. Is in the beginning, the letters were so blurry for no reason. I thought it was like on purpose, but then when I went to Tubi, like the letters were like super crisp. I just, in general, easily one of the worst qualities for a DVD I've ever seen, and that definitely took away from my experience. There was just parts in the movie that were so blurry and not good. That's why I was like, is something wrong with this? And even went to Tubi because it was just so bad. So yeah, it's definitely most likely a highly recommended, to be honest, because it is an excellent movie. But for now, we're just gonna say recommended, like it even matters. But yeah, definitely a really, really good movie, to be honest. Love Nicolas Cage.